Hi everybody, my name is Drenless, pronounced Drenless, and not pronounced, hopefully. Wherever you are, you've got about 20 minutes till New Year's. And if you're watching this, I'm not going to talk about something or make some dumb commentary video about something silly. I just thought, we could have some alcohol, talk about the year, and our hopes for the future. So this probably will be age restricted, but I hope not. But I have my full glass here that I got for Christmas from my mother. Love you, Mum. And tonight, to drink, we have this stuff that tastes like Dr. Pepper. It's amazing. I like it. We also have this stuff, which is called the Captain Morgan. Gingerbread edition. Festive. And we also have this very expensive French alcohol that my grandparents got me for Christmas. So, we're just basically going to cook up some drinks. We're going to drink it, and we're going to talk about the year so far. So, I'm going to grab some vanilla Coca-Cola. And we'll probably grab some ice as well. Out of my large ice cube tray. Here's my tray. Here's the ice cubes ready. Nice. This is ASMR, alcohol making edition. And I'm thinking we'll start off with the Disaronno. Makes it fun, Festive. Don't I really just say festive over Dr. Pepper? As we all know, Dr. Pepper is a renowned Christmas drink. And you get to see some unedited content from your favourite YouTuber. That's right. I heard Morgs was releasing some unedited prank videos later. So, that's what that whole thing's about. Chopstick. So, 2020's been my hair, Christ. 2020's been a bit of a year, hasn't it? So, it started off in my country. There was a bunch of fires. They were pretty bad. I remember I used to live with my grandparents up until about 3 months ago. And over there, the fires were pretty strong. Like, I wasn't actually in the fire area, so there wasn't... But I was still getting all the smoke and stuff. It was really, really thick. That's what she said. But... yeah, and you'd go outside and you'd start hacking and coughing, and it was even creeping in through our windows. And it was pretty full on. And then once we finally got a hang on that, there was the whole Black Lives Matter issue, where George Floyd, rest in peace, was brutally murdered by police officers right in front of our eyes. That sort of, I think, it sparked this discussion that was long overdue about police overfunding, police brutality, because every couple of months it was starting to turn in, like every couple of weeks you'd open it and it'd be like, oh wow, police shot another unarmed black teen, or police busted in and killed someone, what a shock. And it was kind of just getting to the point where it was just, oh. So I'm really glad that we had the sort of catalyst to sort of talk about this. We shouldn't have needed it, obviously. Then there was Breonna Taylor, who... I'm trying to be as accurate as I can here, but if I'm wrong, shout out in the comments. Breonna Taylor, a woman who was asleep when the police raided her house, kicked the door down and shot her in her bed. So, that's pretty full on. Good news though, a judge passed Breonna Taylor's law, which bans no-knock warrants. Which is pretty good, so, And then COVID happened. It started out really... I feel like in Australia we had a decent response to it. Like, once we got up to about 100 cases, everything was shut down. But I'm not sure over in America. That should be the tagline for 2020. I'm not sure over in America. But yeah, we had a pretty good year. We got hit pretty badly. It was very, very risky because, as I said, I lived with my grandparents. Let me close the freezer. And them being elderly, it was like, I was very scared that I would somehow catch it out of nowhere and transmit it, so to speak. But yeah, my grandfather did a bit of stockpiling, you know, bought a bunch of toilet paper, so. Which, sorry to anybody who didn't get toilet paper over in Queensland, my grandfather is to blame. No, I'm just joking, by the way. He only bought about 2 of the 24 packs. Fucking hell, my head. Which is still a lot. It's been a hell of a year for me as well. This year I got really inspired by Pyrocynical to actually start getting out there and actually putting some effort into the YouTube content I was making, because as a kid I was always like, I'm just gonna make a YouTube channel and play games for the rest of my life and that'll be my job. But I started to realize that I didn't really like I wasn't happy with the content I was putting out. You know, playing Dead Rising and saying one thing every 5 minutes is all well and good, but I was wondering, would I actually watch this? And I thought, no, I wouldn't. But then I tried to think, you know, who was I watching? And I'm not joking, by the way, Pyrocynical, the stuff that he makes and the way that he started out as like a commentary YouTuber, you know, video every day, slamming some random stupid video he found, but I think the content growth that he's had is inspiring, and the way he's changed from vapid nothing to videos that you can sit down and be like, wow, there's time and also effort put into this. And you know, that's what I wanted to do. So I released my video criticizing a Screen Rant article because I'm incredibly original, and obviously it was over 40 minutes and not worth watching. That goes for a lot of my stuff that I make, but then I released something that I'm actually happy with, and that's the They Are Out to Get You, which is a video about cursed Conspiraboomer Boomer images, a Twitter page. And, you know, I feel like that was sort of, I like to think of that as my first video. And yeah, I just started, editing is hard, recording a video and stuff, it's fun, but like editing, like, I'll be up for almost like 12 hours or something and be like, do I even want to do this? And you know, I keep doing it. Normally I'll drink a coffee. The coffee that I drink right now is Bailey's coffee. It's flavoured after Bailey's, which we actually have some Bailey's here if we finish all this stuff. Finish just on it. This stuff actually tastes like Dr. Pepper, so I'd recommend it. I have it with vanilla Coca-Cola. And I wanted to talk about, you know, my editing process, because I don't know, I put a lot of effort into it, but sometimes I'll release a video and I'll be like, is that even a video that I'm proud of? Most of the time it's not. For example, off the top of my head, 2 videos I absolutely despise that I've made. The worst film trailer that you haven't even seen, about the film Rumble. That was really, I was just watching a movie trailer and I was like, oh, I can get 10 minutes of nothing out of this. So I sat down, recorded it at 2 in the morning, chopped it up by about 3:30, I think. It was done and ready to upload. And the second one, Drenlis's Epic Halloween Terrifying Bonanza, or whatever it's called. I think my problem with that one is the fact that it masquerades as something that it's not, you know. It starts out with me talking, which you think is going to actually just be a decent video, but then it just cuts to gameplay, and I'm just not that proud of it. It's very low effort, which is kind of the problem with all the videos of mine that I don't like. You probably wondered why I've had a big spike in uploads, that is if you watch me all the time or whatever, but I used to live with my grandparents, as I said, and over there I had no internet, so I'd actually have to use my mobile data to upload. and it would take about 4 hours for a video to upload. Like, I put it into the YouTube studio, title, thumbnail, everything, and put a video in, and then I'd just go to bed, or take a nap or something, because it would be like 4 hours. But yeah, now I've moved back to the sort of area that I like. I live near the beach, which is nice. Got my first house, which I'm happy with, you know. Always good to get your first house, feel happy and positive. So yeah. One of those things, you know. I want to touch on something else that I've thought about making a video on, but I decided against it because I felt like I wasn't the person to speak on this issue, and that is the pyrocynical allegations. Basically, a guy called Ivory Rasmus claimed that when he was younger, about 15 years old, Pyrocynical engaged in erotic roleplay and was grooming him. Now, there's been a whole lot of back and forth of both parties. Like I said, Pyrocynical is literally my hero, you know? The way he conducts himself and the videos that he's made are inspiring. Hence the fact that I'm making this. But given the fact that these allegations came out, and initially I wasn't sure whether to take them with a grain of salt or believe them 100%, but I essentially settled on a space in between, about 50% believe rate, because I've had some personal stuff related to grooming and stuff. Like, I haven't been groomed, don't worry, but I've had a family history with groomers and grooming and blah blah blah, and I kind of, like, I'm biased towards Pyrocynical, obviously, because I like the guy. I want to smooch him, just kidding, but, you know, I'm biased towards him, so I wasn't sure, but the evidence did seem mounting, and then Pyrocynical made the Reddit post, so I was like, oh, well, obviously, but then that Google Doc came out, so I was like, oh, but hang on, but then Pyrocynical made the video response, and it's kind of just at the point now where it's just tiring, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like we're in a war that no one's gonna win. It feels like Ivory was a kid, obviously. Pyrocynical had the responsibility to look up Ivory's age at the time, but it's like, it's just hard. It's just hard. You can see where I edit and stuff, but yeah. It just feels like we're at the point now where things are just going to keep going back and forth, and eventually the internet's going to move on to the next thing. Which brings me on to the point of Cyberpunk. Which, yeah, we had a lot of games come out this year, didn't we? We had the Avengers game. That was really good. I liked it. We had Cyberpunk. That's running pretty swell right now. Could do with less blue screens, but, you know. Might actually shot a vodka. Hang on. I got this year. It was expensive, but I'm happy to have bought it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a shot of vodka. Where was I? Ah yes, Cyberpunk and Avengers. You know, Cyberpunk's got its issues, which are undeniable. The game's clearly not finished. Glass. It's glass, YouTube. It's a glass vodka bottle. That's not what I was talking about. But, you know, Cyberpunk's got its issues, obviously. And Avengers had its issues. Like, the main story campaign was amazing, which I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a really refreshing, unique take on the Avengers. But I felt like the multiplayer, which it had kind of advertised itself to be standing upon, was less than ideal. You know, it's repetitive. Like, when you're playing the story, you can kind of get behind the fact that you can ignore the fact that you're just repeating the same levels and fighting the same enemies, because you've got that interesting story to go behind it, you know? But in the multiplayer, when you've got barely any story, you're just playing with your friends, it's kind of boring. But, you know, Avengers straightened itself up. They released the Kate Bishop DLC, which is really fun and really well done, and I really like it. And by the time the game had kind of polished itself up a bit, we were all on to the next thing, which was Cyberpunk. But, you know, anyway, do a little cheers. Cheers, selfie stand. Like drinking petrol. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. Oh. It tastes better than the Russian stuff. That's not me being racist. That gun that you saw before was previously filled with a very strong Russian vodka. And it tasted like I was drinking car. Like, it tasted like I was drinking a car engine. Oh, it's got a nice warming after it. The Francais is the French stuff. What I do want to do is I want to pour one out. Doing Captain Morgan gingerbread rum now, festive style. I want to pour one out for those working in the service industry right now. You know, retail, waiters, waitresses, chefs. You may be saying, why? Why do you want to do that, Drenless? Well, in high school, I took a lot of hospitality courses. I did the occasional waitering, and you have this with ginger ale. And I also did like a thing where I went out once and I catered this event, and oh my god. I'm unemployed, so, but I could not work a service job. And especially in this current climate, it would be absolute agony. And I know, because I've been to McDonald's and stuff. But you know, you're all still showing up, working that 9 to 5. And I salute you. So here's another cheers. Just for my hospitality bros. Thank you for all you do. Shout one out to the firefighters who fought the fires earlier this year. Got on them. Saw a lot of news articles about all the death and destruction that was coming from the fires, you know, all the animals, and that would have been agonizing to be a part of, so this one goes out to you guys. This stuff's really good. Feels weird to try to move on from something heartfelt, and this video's kind of all over the place, but what I wanted this to be was just, you know, just going into the New Year's with me. Some random 19-year-old, unemployed, femboy, pansexual loser. So, Happy New Year's.